Welcome back. So today we're going to do something a little new. This is going to be a regular guy's breakdown of scents. So as a normal guy, we try to find lovely ladies, dating back prior to high school. And obviously smelling good was an important thing. So as a young guy, you're obviously following the trends, following the brands, wearing Dracar Noir, Ralph Lauren's Green, and trying to find your own signature scent, something that made you stand out among the crowd. Then you go to university, you continue to obviously culture your sense of style and smell, trying to find something that fits you perfectly. Then as an adult, uh, either you're wearing what your missus wants you to wear because that's something she really enjoys, or you're trying to find something that really resonates with you. So I'm sure all of us have been in this situation. So today I just wanted to talk about a niche fragrance group that obviously has been getting a lot of attention. And as a normal dude, a regular guy, I mean, I'm like you. You walk through the department store, you see the posters, you see like famous people selling certain brands, you see the commercials, and these are the things that stick with you, right? Maybe you walk around, you smell something and it smells good. So then you ask what it is. You go through the department store, spraying stuff on, trying to get a sense of what you like. Your girl at the time, she's giving you input. Sometimes, obviously, they're buying you presents, right? Buying you colognes that they like, whether it's something they've seen in commercials or something they've actually smelled that they liked. And obviously, they want to bring that to you. So let's just go through a few popular colognes I have because everybody has bought colognes, regardless of how you bought them. Uh, you know, Primarily, mostly it's because you either like the smell or because the advertisement grabbed your attention. So let's go back a little further. And here was obviously a hardcore one, Abercrombie and Finch, Fierce, right? Still a great smell, a cologne that smells good. Clean, fresh, easy to wear, a kind of everyday scent you could wear regardless of where you're going. And you're not going to get a lot of negative comments about it, right? Even though at one time it was one of the most popular scents around. So you might smell just like every other guy. Mind you, this is 2024. If I wear Fierce today, people might remember the smell, but they probably can't place it. Another one that really took over huge was Sauvage. And like most people, I saw the advertisement, right? And I thought it was cool advertisement. So then when I was in the department store, of course, I gave it a smell and I liked it a lot. Very wearable, very nice smell. Obviously, this has got a lot of praise, but also a lot of criticism, even though it's hard not to like, right? And obviously they've come out with, Parfum, Elixir, and different versions. So you can test it out, see which one you prefer. Obviously, I live in Taiwan. Generally, Taiwan is very hot. So most of the scents I gravitate towards are spring, summer fragrances. Easy, not too strong, something you can wear. Obviously, I teach and I'm around lots of people, kids and people in the office. So you don't want to wear something that's too clawing and is going to be off-putting, right? You just want to have a nice smell that people, feel comfortable around you, right? But then, of course, you have date scents and everything else. Like, I think Sauvage is great, but I don't wear this to work because it's a little too strong for work. But going out on Friday, Saturday, for sure. This is a grabbing bottle because I know what it smells like. It's great. And I know people are going to like it. And that's the only thing you need to worry about. One of the other colognes, the first time I smelled it, and obviously I saw this from a commercial as well, and the juice just looked so nice, brown, amber looking, and when I smelled it, I thought, fuck me, this is the best shit I've ever smelled in my life, really, right? And that, of course, is the one, and we might remember Matthew McConaughey, right, commercial of him wearing it. This cologne is great. Date night, snuggle up on the couch with your missus. This is something that's just going to get her to like really cozy up close. It smells great. It's warm. It's friendly. You know, great cologne. The criticism with that, of course, is that it doesn't last very long. You got to reapply, and that's the problem. Obviously, living in a hot climate, most of the scents that I smell that I have, right? Most of them don't last that long. You need to reapply if you want to, have a smell around you, because maybe 3 or 4 hours and most of this stuff is done, right? Maybe people get very close to you, they can smell it, but just casually in your bubble, people won't smell it after 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours at most. Another one, which is obviously a high level one, but you hear about it. Obviously, it's something growing up. Mostly, I was familiar with women wearing, but then you hear about the new blue scents and how great they are. And obviously, this is a one that got tons of attention as the predominant sort of blue scents, and that is Bleu de Chanel, right? And it's the same. I went to the department store. Obviously, I'd heard about it. I heard people on the reviews. I saw commercials, and I knew Chanel was a great smell because obviously, as a kid, your grandma, your mom, people always wearing Chanel, people wanting Chanel. But the first time I smelled this, it was the same. I thought, wow, this is great, right? It's easy to wear, super pleasant, a great smell, right? I love this. So I just showed you 4 colognes. Obviously, I have more, but I'm just trying to show you that we all have colognes. I'm sure right now, as you watch this, you're thinking of the colognes you wore when you were younger and what you wear today. Cool Water, something my uncle consistently wore, right? So I like Cool Water. Again, great for Taiwan, easy everyday scent, but really just a common scent. So you're trying to find something a little more specific, unique. Out of the ones I just showed you, Chanel is obviously the most unique because it's the most expensive. It's probably the one you're going to find less guys wearing than any of the others. Obviously, Fierce back in the day would have been worn by everyone. Obviously, Sauvage today is worn by everyone. The one would have been worn, a few years ago by a lot of people as well. So this brings me to the topic of conversation. We try to find something that's unique, obviously something that's stronger. So living in a hot climate, I can wear something that's light, fresh, but yet I know I don't need to apply it a million times. It's going to stick with me for a longer period of time. So a lot of the advertisements, a lot of the things I've seen on YouTube and elsewhere have been Parfum de Marley, a French perfumer, and obviously a niche brand. Let's just go here. So this is what the bottles look like. They got a very simple, straightforward design, which is great because as a man, you have these bottles on your shelf. It's not over the top, it's just very simple, nice, clean. And obviously you're hoping that the juice inside is premium, right? And that's what you're paying for. Being a niche brand, these brands are super expensive, which is why obviously I didn't show you a bottle because I don't own a bottle. I was not going to buy something that I'd never smelled before. The great thing about regular brands, you can go to the department store. You can smell them. You can test them out. You can see which ones you like. You don't need to blind buy them, right? And even some that your girlfriend or you buy somebody blind buying are just super popular ones that everybody's going to like regardless. But for these niche brands, it's $300 to $400 US for a bottle. And I don't know about you, but to buy something that I have no idea about and spend that much money for seems like a bad move, right? So what I did is I went to one of the online stores and bought 6 of the top brands from Parfum de Marley to give them a test. These are ones that obviously I've been hearing people talk about a lot. So I wanted to try it on my own skin, see how I felt about it, and just give you a regular review on these perfumes and tell you if you should spend $300 to $400 on these or not, right? And obviously it comes down to you. You can do this as well. Try it out, obviously at a more inexpensive situation and test them to see if it's something you like. When I was young, it used to be great when you could get these testers in magazines, right? That was another way you became familiar with brands, right? Especially big ones. They would put out those testers in magazines. It was easy to get. You could test it out. And right from the get-go, you knew if it was something you liked or something you didn't like. So today, let's start with Layton. Layton is the most popular of this brand. Obviously, you can watch all kinds of reviews. They talk about it all the time. It is the one that gets most of the praise. It's been compared to Creed Aventus. And obviously, Creed is another niche brand that gets a lot of attention. Aventus specifically, I think everybody probably has heard about Aventus just if you buy cologne, because so much of the cologne we buy is compared to Aventus. I will be doing a review on Creed scents later on. So let me know if that's something you actually want to watch or not. Because if you don't, I won't waste my time. But if you do, I'm getting those scents sent to me as we speak. So Layton, let me just find it. Layton is more of a fall winter scent, right? It's much stronger. It has much richer of a smell. It's a good smell, but being in Taiwan, it's not the kind of cologne that I would wear very often. This is the kind of thing that maybe 2 or 3 months of the year I could get some use out of, right? Outside of that, I know here they talk about it being in all season scent, but from my opinion, I don't think it is. It's a little too rich, a little too warm, and I think it's just a little too much for me living in Taiwan. But of course, you know, up to everybody else to test it out and see what you think. So here it is, Layton. Where's my camera? There we go. As you can see, I haven't used really too much of this yet. So, you know, let's give it a squirt and test it out. Right off the bat, very strong. As I say, I'm not a connoisseur of scents like many channels that come on and that's what they make their living from. They do a lot of research. They obviously have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bottles of cologne. So if you really want much more of a educated perspective, you should check out those. They're all over YouTube. You can test it out. One of the criticisms, though, is you also hear people say these guys are just being paid off to say good things about scents. And specifically towards Parfums de Marley, that's what I heard a lot of people saying. Getting free bottles and then hyping up this brand, even though people feel it's underperformed, definitely not worth the money. So right off the top, when I smell this, it doesn't come across as anything unique. It smells very much like YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, and Yves Saint Laurent Y, right? If you wanted to get a cheaper cologne that didn't cost you $300 or $400, and is something more of like a spring, fall, winter scent, obviously you could get things that are more strong and more warm and more wintry than this. But this is kind of, you know, a scent you can wear all the time, as long as you're not in a really hot tropical climate like myself. It smells nice, right? You could see that girls would really like it. It's warm, has a really nice scent to it. It's not super fresh, but it's got a little bit more to it, a little more body, a little more warmth. It's nice, right? But as I say, you can get YSL Y, and it would be almost the same. And the difference is you're going to save yourself $300 in the process. And you can also go to the department store, test it out yourself, and see if it's something you really like. I like it. It's good. It's not bad. But I can tell you that when smelling this, it doesn't make me want to spend $300, $400 to buy a bottle. That's why I bought this, to see if there was really anything that really, really grabbed my attention and made me think, Jesus, yes, I have to have that. I know it's going to cost me a bit of money, but Christmas is coming. I can buy myself a Christmas present, right? But in smelling this, it's nice. I'll use this bottle when it gets a little colder. and I'll enjoy it. I'm sure I'll get compliments for it, but I'm not going to even contemplate buying a whole bottle or thinking about even buying, something bigger than this. This is enough. I know that I can buy YSL and it's going to be very similar. But test it out for yourself, see what you think. Next, we're going to look at the one that really I thought probably would be the one that I'd probably gravitate towards more. It's a real fresh, clean scent, obviously perfect for Taiwan, kind of everyday scent that I thought for sure, maybe this is something I'd spend $300, $400 with, just to be my scent that I would wear all the time. Obviously something that nobody else would wear, so it'd be very unique. Obviously I could wear it and people aren't going to say that I smell like their father, smell like their brother, smell like their boyfriend. I would have my own unique scent that would sort of stand out. Two bags, summer bag and winter bag. So where are you, Sedley? There you are. And you can see already, I've worn a lot of it. I wore it all day yesterday in the office just to test it out, to get a sense of what I thought about this one. It comes across really bubbly and fresh right off the scent. Fizzy. When people say that, I never really understood what they meant, but when you smell this, you can totally get it. It's like that candy, the fizzy candy kind of flavor and scent. It's nice, right? It's sweet, but it's not too sweet, not overly sweet. I'm a man. I don't want to smell like a woman, right? I don't want people to get my scent and question my sexuality, because obviously being a gay man, you may be drawn to something that's a little more feminine, a little sweeter. Your tastes might be a little different. Might be, I don't know. But, obviously you would think people would have different tastes, different styles. But the problem I have with this is it's the same thing I've said already. It doesn't last very long, right? I need to reapply it consistently. So if I bought a bottle of this, $300 or $400, I would wear it, but I'd need to reapply it all the time. It would obviously go quick, and I don't know if it's worth that. I don't know if this scent is that special that I would feel comfortable spending that much money, where there's lots of other scents that are similar. Like I just showed you Fierce. Fierce you can buy right now. It's not that expensive, not even close to this comparable. You can get this for less than $100. And I would wear this just as much as I'd wear this one. Both have really nice scents, easy to wear, clean and fresh. You can wear them every day, but this is way cheaper, right? And both of them would get you just as much positivity as the other. And neither are so strong. They both have problems in obviously lasting. And that's the problem, obviously, with clean, fresh sort of scents, right? They just don't last long. So as far as Sedley, I like it, but I don't think it's worth that money. It's not strong enough. Maybe if they came out with a stronger version of it, so it did last longer on your skin, maybe then it would be worthwhile. But for what you're getting now, buying a niche scent, right? This just smells, like I'm saying, like a normal designer scent. It's not better. It's not more special. It's not stronger. It doesn't do anything more than designer scents you can buy at the local department store near you. And the good thing is you can test those out, find out which one you like the most, and it's going to cost you probably $300 less money. Obviously, you can find a lot of these on discounts, but it's still going to cost you $250, maybe more. So it's still going to be super expensive regardless. Let's get to number 3. This one just looks nice, right? Looks fresh, green. Maybe it's going to have pine. It's going to be a fresh scent, but more of a natural sort of, walking in the woods type of scent, which, isn't too bad. Nobody hates on those kind of scents. At one time, obviously, when I grew up, green scents were the norm. right? I never even realized that Dracar Noir is considered a green scent. And that was my go-to throughout high school. I wore that like crazy. So much so that I just bought a bottle recently because I just wanted to reminisce and see if it still smelled as good as it did back then. Uh, the new formulation, definitely not as strong, but the scent, very similar. So it still smells nice. I still like to wear it. But once again, it doesn't last very long. Whereas when I remember high school, it was far stronger. It lasted all the time. The next day, you could still smell it on your clothes, right? So, like, it really stuck with you. And maybe that's where I'm a little jaded because I came from that era where I would wear my cologne and the next day, you throw on a sweater because it's a sweater. You can wear it 2 days in a row and you can still smell your cologne on your sweater, right? Which made you feel like you were getting your money's worth out of it. But today, I think, like everything else, a lot of the stuff we're getting is overcharged and undervalued, underperformance, right? You got to buy a phone every year, got to replace your laptop constantly. TVs don't last that long. Nothing lasts as long as it once did. And young people, this is not me talking bullshit. This is fact. You can ask anyone, ask your parents, ask your grandparents, right? We bought a color TV when I was in elementary school, and we had that TV all the time until I finished high school. So well over 10 years, 10 more. I think that TV was still there after my grandparents passed away, right? Whereas things don't last like they did before because this is a different era. So let's try this Greenly. I had high hopes here because it's more of a green. I thought maybe it'd be stronger, and that could be a good thing. Obviously, living in Taiwan, I'm trying to find something I can wear that is stronger, right? It's not too sweet. It's very green, very piney, which isn't bad. But then at the same time, it's got to be something that you really like and you think would fit you to wear. I know Dracar Noir was green, but it was more sweet and more usable, an everyday scent. This, I don't think it's that complex. They talk about you smelling like a green apple in this. And maybe it's just my nose and how it wears on my skin. That's why it's important for you to try things out, right? Because you never know how it's going to work with your body chemistry. But with me, I don't really get much green apple tartness, not much sweetness. It just doesn't really resonate with me as anything very special, right? You may feel different. Obviously, leave it in the comments below if these are things that really resonate with you. If you like it, let me know. Out of 10, where do you rate it? But so far, out of everything I've smelled, Leighton has been the best, the strongest, the most complex, more layers to it, something that I could see myself wearing. But obviously, there's a far cheaper version in your department store. As far as Sedley, I like it, but and I especially like that bubbly, fizzy sort of thing, which is kind of unique, right? But at the same time, I could wear Abercrombie Finch and quite a few other light freshies that I have, far cheaper, some costing $60. And I think they smell great. And they just as strong as this, yet they're way cheaper. And there's nothing so unique about it that I have to have it, right? And I went into this sort of wanting to have it, wanting it to be something, right? But yet walking away disappointed in that it just didn't deliver. And this is no different. Then we get to Percival. This is a one that's, sort of been described as a more complex, better sort of summer scent than Sedley, right? It's got a little more layers to it. People think, Sedley's nice, it's eye-catching, but Percival is something that, you could really wear more day to day, and it's better. And obviously, I've been wearing Percival today, testing out, so there is some juice out of my bottle. So let's try this on my other hand. Soon I'm not going to have any body parts to use. So there we go. Percival. The good thing I do like about these, to be fair, is off the spray, you don't smell a lot of alcohol or a lot of harshness. Sometimes with designer scents, right off the bat, when you spray it, you got to sort of give it a minute to sort of calm down before you can really sort of start to notice the subtleties in it. And, you know, these are not so bad. You can see that this is a stronger smell, obviously something that would be a better day-to-day wear than Sedley. As far as lasting, I still think Sedley, for me, I like it better. It's cleaner and fresher. But Percival is nice. It's more like the summer scent version of Layton from the Parfums de Marley. It's a scent that, unlike Greenly, I think everybody would wear, everybody would like. It's far more functional, whereas Greenly is a little specific with that pine smell. As I said, I didn't get much apple or anything out of it. Obviously, I thought Layton is good out of all the ones so far. I think it's the best, but as I said, you can buy YSL, Y, and you're going to get something almost exactly the same, way cheaper, and you can go to the department store and test out all the Y versions and find out which one is best for you as well. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Y. You know, some people love that specific scent that's in it, but for me, I think it's okay, but it's not really something I love. I think I prefer more of a vanilla than that. I can't remember what fruit it is or what specific thing, but that flower. Let's try out the next one. This is the one that gets most of the rave reviews from Parfums de Marley, and this is Carlisle. Carlisle is really the one that's consistently considered the #1 scent by this house, by this brand. You know, it's stronger. So the good thing about that is you're getting more for your money, kind of like Layton. You know, it's going to have more strength to it. It's going to have a stronger, more complex smell. So if you're spending this much money on it, you're going to get more for your money as opposed to the freshies like Greenly, Sedley, and Percival. I'm going to have to try the inside of my arm for this one. I got no more hands left. Right off the top, bam, you can smell it. It hits you far stronger than some of the others. It's lighter than Layton. It's not as strong for my nose, as you say. I think this would be more of an everyday easy smell, you know, because it's not as complex. It doesn't have quite the character that Layton has. So you could easily wear it as an everyday scent, as your go-to scent, far easier. I also don't think it's so strong that you couldn't wear it in hotter weather. I don't know if you'd wear it in hot, humid summer, but definitely spring, fall, very well. Winter, it's not so strong. You may choose to go for something stronger and richer, right, in the winter. To be fair, the first time I smelled it, I didn't like it at all. But the more I smell it, the more I appreciate it. But in saying that, I don't know if I would spend 400, 300, $400 on Carlisle, right? It doesn't grab my attention. Not like Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage or the One. For these, when I smelled them, I instantly love them. Instantly, right? So far, out of all the scents I've smelled from Marley, I mean, the one I like the most is Sedley, but that's also the most disappointing because I need it to be stronger and last better, uh, especially for the price point. If you could buy it for $60, $80 at max, then I'd have no problem. I'd totally go buy a bottle, even though I know it doesn't last long because I do like it and I like the freshness and the fizziness, right? But because I know how expensive it is and I know how it performs, I wouldn't even think about spending that much money. The Carlisle, you know, you definitely have much more of a scent trail with this as well. So that's good because, when you walk past people, you don't want to overwhelm them, but you just want to catch their attention, right? For people to be like, oh, that smells nice. Who's that? Right? You want to have that kind of smell. You want to garner a little attention, subtle. You don't want to be the old lady in the elevator that gasses everybody out, right? With Poison. You guys remember Poison? Poison was a good scent, but it was so strong, so overpowering that if you were ever in an elevator with an old woman that was wearing it, it was just like, fucking Christ, man. That stuff is just a fucking cloud, a black cloud hanging over you, right? But meanwhile, I say it, but I liked it because it wasn't overly sweet. It was really unique. You could see why for women that was a perfume that was really popular. I was going to buy a bottle just because, that's how strong that memory sticks with me. And I went out and I bought quite a few older colognes recently just to sort of see how they follow through today. Like Alfred's Song, which I wore quite a bit in high school. Now, oh my God, I can't wear that. It's terrible. It smells like cat piss. No offense, right? This is something I loved when I was younger. And maybe it's the re-bottling and new formulation, but oh my God, it's brutal, terrible. As I said, Dracar Noir, still good, but not as strong as it once was. So that's disappointing. So we get to our last one of the day. This is more of a newer scent, Altar by the Marley. More of a winter scent, a nice orange juice, right? Looks really rich and nice. So you know what you'd expect from this. Something warm, rich, wintry, right? And you can look at these notes right there and, cinnamon, tells you right there, bourbon and vanilla, smells nice, sounds good, right? Edible. You would sort of compare this to something more like the One, right? But I'll tell you, this, as I told you, the first time I smelled it, I loved it. I thought, this shit is fucking great. I could wear this literally every day for the rest of my life. And I would be super excited to wear it because it smells so good. And as you can see, I don't wear it that much because I live in Taiwan and it's too hot to wear it, right? I wore my Chanel far more because it's much more of a summery scent, something you can definitely get away with. Even Fierce, I've worn much more of that, and this bottle is brand new, but I've been wearing it almost every day going to school. Sauvage, as I said, because it is stronger and it does have a much bigger scent trail. I don't really wear it to school because obviously I work with little kids. I don't want to fucking gas them out. And then I'm in an office space with co-teachers. So, I'm trying to be considerate to my co-workers. But let's check out this one, the last one of the group, Altar. And I've heard some mixed reviews with this. Some people seem to really love it. Other people, not so much. It's definitely not the strong off your skin as much as Carlisle. The vanilla and bourbon, I get a little bit of it, but not as much as I would prefer. Maybe in the dry down that will come out more. Even cinnamon, I don't catch that much spice out of it, but it is warm, smooth. But I would say that I wouldn't wear it. It's not something I really like. You know, you go to your friend's house, he's got some colognes around. This is not one I would grab and spray on. If this was a bottle of cologne that I had in my house, it would probably never get used. Literally, never. And that doesn't mean other people wouldn't like it and that stylistically this doesn't fit you. Obviously, if you live in more of a cold climate, this would be much better, right? But out of these ones that we've already seen today, I'd prefer Leighton to this easily. I prefer Carlisle to this. I just like the overall scent trail. It's subtler, and I think overall I could wear it more. It'd be more useful throughout the seasons, and it's something I probably could wear to work as well. Whereas this, not so much. As far as the freshies, Greenlee, I was disappointed. Sedley, I like it, but as I said, it's not worth the money. And Percival is good, but at the same time, well, it's got more to it than Sedley. I still couldn't justify spending that amount of money for something that, you know, is stronger, a little more complex, but I'm not that complex of a person. I prefer the simpler fizzy version of Sedley, right? So out of all of them that I would buy, it would either be Sedley or Leighton. Out of the 6 Parfum de Marleys that I smelled today, let me know what you think. If you've ever smelled these before, which one is your favorite? If you've never smelled them, you know, you might not be interested, but at least now you know that really, as far as this brand is concerned, in my humble opinion, as an everyday, you know, regular guy, it's not really worth your trouble to even worry about this. You'd be better off going to the department store, getting, you know, normal brands and normal fragrances you could try out and see which ones you like easily. Get your girlfriend, your wife to actually smell them with you, and you're going to find something that probably fits you better than this niche brand. And as far as being a niche brand, I don't think it's really bringing anything special, anything unique, anything that grabs my attention. None of these grabbed my attention as much as Bleu de Chanel the first time I smelled it. I smelled it off the strip at the shop. Then I put it on my skin. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy that. And this isn't cheap, especially in Taiwan. The first time I smelled this, fell in love. Thought, it's great. Smells great. If I smelled like this every day, I'd be happy. Sauvage, obviously it's overdone. It's very popular right now, but it just smells great. And people could say that it's just what it is, but I guarantee you, nobody's going to hate you wearing this. It just smells great. And you even have different concentrations now, so you could find something that works best with you. Apparently the elixir is great. I haven't smelled it, but that's what I've heard. And then even we go to a throwback bottle of Fierce, Abercrombie and Finch, right? There was a reason that this was so popular, because literally you could wear this every day and it smells good, clean, fresh. Everyone's going to think you smell good. Obviously, back then you would smell like everybody. I can honestly tell you I didn't own a bottle of Fierce back then. I just recently bought that bottle out of, you know, curiosity for things years gone by. Obviously, when you get older, that's what you do. You reminisce. So that was part of my reminiscing. But that's one that I still use. Several of the other bottles that I bought, like Obsession, Eternity, Drakkar, and others, I don't use nearly as much as that one. So it tells you something. There was a reason why it was so popular back in the day. But let me know what you think. What do you wear? what's your scent of the day? What's your favorite cologne or perfume? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Yes, this is a boxing channel, but you know, if I get enough attention from this, then people like it. You never know. Maybe one of my other channels I could transform into a fragrance channel. The new Jeremy Fragrance. But let me know in the comment section below. Did you learn anything? Did you take anything positive away from this? And feel free to give me feedback as far as what you like, because I'm always eager to learn more. Thanks for watching. Peace out.